This is task 2C, where you are asked to produce a help sheet to show how to use the APR calculator worksheet. Now, a help sheet is not full user documentation, so you don't need to include things like a contents page, you don't need troubleshooting, you don't need a glossary. And although it's called a help sheet, it can consist of more than one page, but it must be separate to the rest of your other documentation that you've been producing. Now, what we've got to look at and find out what sort of instructions you're going to be writing is to have a look at the APR calculator itself. First of all, in order to get to that APR calculator, you have to have a way of opening the file. So you need to have some instructions explaining how that is going to be done. So you need to think about opening up the software, Excel. You then need to think about how the file is going to be opened. Where is that file located? It's not just a case of open a file called APR calculator, it's also a case of identifying the folder that it's going to be in, which is why this says click on documents. You don't have to go to the depths of all the subfolders you've used in your coursework to store this. The moderator doesn't know where it is. As long as you identify a straightforward folder, that will do. That could be where this company is going to open this calculator from now on. Now, although this is open for me in APR calculator, it might open in a different worksheet. So if it does, it's worth telling people how to get to that correct worksheet. So I click on there, click on APR, not an APR table, got to scroll across a bit more, APR calculator, and we get to that correct worksheet. Now we've got to think about inputting the data. Well, if we look at all the different inputs, we've got self-employed, so we need to explain how to use this drop-down box. Then we've got the credit rating, so we need to explain how we use this slider. Remember, we can't type in here because this is a formula based on that, and all of these would normally be hidden. Then we need to explain how to do the driving license type, explain what a guarantor is and how to tick that box, explain how to enter the date of birth, and then just explain how we can view the APR by looking at it here. We can even say what the green bits mean, what the red bits mean. And we need to explain how to print the worksheet using this button and how to save the worksheet just using the save icon. Now, as we've gone along, you'll notice that everything I've done has been consistent. All my bullet points are consistent. All my arrows are consistent. I've used cropped screenshots. I use a separate piece of software called Screencaptor, which I find very useful indeed, because all I have to do is hold down the shift key, press print screen, and it will let me then grab the part that I want, so I don't have to crop it afterwards. Also, all my titles are consistent. I've used the same font throughout. The main title I've done in 24 points, and this title I've done in 18. And what I've done is, to make sure that I am doing it consistently, I've used one of my styles. So here are my styles, and I've used those styles along here. And all I have to do is, if I wanted to create a new subtitle, I'd just select that style. If I wanted to change what that style was, let's say I wanted it all to be in a red text, I'd change that to red and then update to match that style. So it's right hand click, update it, and that will update all of those to be consistent. So that's my help sheet completed, and we just remember it shouldn't be part of the rest of your documentation that you've been doing where you've been showing how you've done your work. This should be a separate document. Your instructions should also be telling somebody what to do and not telling them what you have done. Remember, it's an instruction sheet for somebody else to use.